Hello people, welcome back to my channel and let's learn what is JSON Web Token. So you must have heard this term JSON Web Token in the recent software industry, and most of the people are using it. Like most of the companies are moving their authentication and authorization system to this JSON Web Token. So let's understand what this JSON Web Token is. It is a mechanism through which the client and the server can trust each other and pass valuable information to each other. So when you build a system, so there is a client and there is a server, and the client and server must trust each other so that they can pass information in between them, so that there is no data loss or there is no theft of data. So that's why it provides you a mechanism through which the client and server can trust each other. We'll see that how this trust thing happens. JWT is mostly used for authentication and authorization purpose. So you must have logged in into some website using your username and password. If the username and password is correct, then you'd have entered the website and you could have done n number of things, like you could have seen your post, you could have deleted something, change your password or anything. So this JWT powers that. In the behind that, it powers the authentication and authorization purpose. What is authentication? It checks whether the credentials that you have provided, let's say username and password, is correct or not. And authorization means what? It gives you permission to view some sections of the website and it restricts you from viewing some of the sections. So that is called as authorization. So this is the difference between authentication and authorization. So let's say there's an identity system, or you can say user management system also, and a JWT token is provided by it. We'll see into details that what this JWT token is, but let's say there's an identity system which provides the JWT token, and there's a payment system, there's a card system, and there's an inventory system. So let's say you visited some website like amazon.com and there you did a login. Then there would be a microservice for the payment system, like you do payments. There will be a microservice for the card system, like what things are present in your card, and there will be an inventory system, like you can view the product, select it, put that into the card, and then you finalize the payment. So all this system will trust the user only by using some credential method, and that is provided by this JWT token. So the JWT token creates a trust in between the identity system and the payment system, that okay, you are allowed to do something, you are allowed to do the payment, you are allowed to do the addition of something to the cart, you can choose something from the inventory system, you can view something from the inventory system. So this is the thing that is powered by JWT token. Let's dive into the details and see what are the parts of a JSON Web Token. So a JSON Web Token has three parts, that is header, payload and signature. So these three things constitute a JSON Web Token. So all these three things are separated within each other using a dot. So you can see this left part, the first part is the header, the middle part is the payload, and the last part is the signature, and all of these are separated using these two dots. So one dot is here and the second dot is here. This is the differentiator, that the leftmost part is the header, middle part is payload, and the third part is the signature. Let's see the details of a JSON Web Token. So for that, what you need to do, you need to visit this website. Like you can take JWT token from anywhere, it is just base 64 encoded, so you can decode it, it's a basic text decoding, and you can view that on this website, that is jwt.io. I have already written a blog post here and there is a token that I have already created. So let's first open the website, that is JWT token, and this is the first part, JWT.io. This is the JWT.io website, and you can view the details of any JWT token here. So on the leftmost part, you can see here it is an encoded section where you can paste the token, and on the right hand side the decoded part will be shown. So let's come to the website here and copy this part. So I'll just click here, it will get copied. I'll do Command A or Control A and then the paste. So once I paste it, you can see here there is a dot. So this one, the leftmost part is what? It is the header. The second part is where basically you can see the second part is this one. I think signature is not being shown here. So the second part is this one, which is the payload, and the signature is not being displayed here. So you can see if you decode this token, so what happens, there is a part that is called header and it is present here. There is a part called as payload which is present here, and this token was created by me. So you can see the issuer is ISS, means issuer. It is like code with Raj Ranjan Playground. This is my name, Raj Ranjan, and this is my email address. and this is the ID and the expiry time. So these are some of the data that is present in the payload, and there's a verify signature part we'll see later. But the most important thing is what, when we decoded this token, then we got three parts. One is header, one is payload, and the third part is the signature. Now let's see what is the header of a JSON Web Token. So the header of the JSON Web Token defines the type of the token and also the algorithm used for signing up the token. So when you create a token, a signature is appended to that token, and that is done by using a signing algorithm. So we need to use some algorithm to sign that token so that a unique signature is created, and that can protect your token. If you see this token, so in the header part you are seeing that the algorithm is RS256. So it is one of the algorithm used for generating the JWT token, and the type is JWT. So the header can contain only these two parts, that is algorithm and token type. Generally in JWT world, there are two types of algorithm that is being used, that is symmetric algorithm and asymmetric algorithm. So let's see what is symmetric algorithm. So in symmetric algorithm, a single key is used for both signing and verifying the token. For example, HMAC algorithm. So you have a header, you have a payload, and then you need to sign that token so that other people can use it and verify it. In the symmetric algorithm, a single key is used for both signing and verifying the token. And for example, this is a HMAC algorithm. It is less secure because the same key is being used for both signing and verifying the token. So the signing part will happen at the backend server, and the verifying of the token can happen at any client. So in this case, what will happen? The key which is used for signing is also used for verifying the token, and other clients can have that key, so they can generate their own token. So that's why it is less secure, because same key is used for both signing and verifying the token. The second is asymmetric algorithm. So in this, what happens? Two different keys are used for signing and verifying the token. For example, RSA256 algorithm. So this is another algorithm which basically is a asymmetric algorithm, and here two keys are used. So the key that is called as private key is used for signing the token, and it is safe with the backend server. Like you can store it in some vault and you can use it, and it is not exposed to the outer world. A public key is used for verifying the token. So a public key can be given to n number of clients, and they can use it to verify the token. When I'm saying verifying the token, it means what? It can verify the signature of the token that was generated using the corresponding private key. The next part is the payload of the JSON Web Token. So here if you see the data that is present here, like first name, last name, email, and then ID, all these are data that is present inside the token, and this is called as payload. The payload contains the data that will be shared between the two different entities using the JWT token. So when you create the JWT token, you can put n number of data inside that token, and that will be available to the client. It is mostly a key value pair, and it is often referred to as claims in the JWT ecosystem. So it is a key value pair. So if you see the token here, so first name is a key and Raj is the value. Same way email is the key, and this value is this email address is the value. So basically in JWT ecosystem, it is called as claims. Some claims are not mandatory but are recommended to provide useful information, and these are called as registered claims. When you create your JWT token, so there are some standard claims that are recommended to be present, but it is not mandatory. These claims are called as registered claims. The first registered claim is issuer, which means from where the token is being issued. So let's say your client is there who is using that token for authentication and authorization purpose, and it says that okay, if the issuer is a user management service, then only I will validate this token and allow the request to go further. But if the issuer is something different, so I will not allow that flow or that call to proceed. So there is a issuer claim which is provided, and that is basically from where the token is issued. It can be anything. It is a free text. Same way, subject. So the subject is what? For which entity the token is being created. So mostly the subject part is a unique user ID or something which you provide, like user identification, which is unique across the system, like for which user this token is being generated. So the third registered claim is expiry, like when this token is going to expire. So you can provide an expiry time to the token, and after that when you verify the token, so what happens, it will give you an exception or error that okay, the token has expired, and it will not be used. So let's say you are doing a payment. So for that you generate a JWT token and you can put a small validity of 1 minute or 2 minutes. So user can be able to use the token only for 2 minutes. After that, what will happen? Either you will refresh the token or ask the user to generate a new token. So that's why expiry time is mandatory. Not mandatory, it is recommended. Then issued at. So at what time this particular JWT token was issued, that time you can also. So these are recommended claims, or you can say recommended key value which you can put. So issuer is basically a free text, subject is a free text, expiration time is a you can say numeric value, epoch value will be there, and issued at will also be a epoch value. Now let's understand the signature of a JSON Web Token. The signature is a unique value generated using the below things, and encoding is done using base 64 URL encode. So the below things is what? Encoded header. So you take the header and you do a base 64 URL encode of that, and then basically you create the signature. So basically you take encoded header, encoded payload, secret, and the algorithm specified in the header. So basically you encode the header, you encode the payload, and then use the secret and the algorithm to create the signature. So that's why it is very secure, like it can't be tampered. If you do some changes in the data or in the algorithm part or anything, you change a single character of the payload, so what will happen? The signature will change, and basically it will not be verified using that public key. So let's understand this signature creation process. So there will be a header, there will be a payload, and you will pass it through the base 64 URL encode function, same way for payload. And finally what will happen? A base 64 URL encoded string will be created for the header, same for the payload, and then you will use the algorithm plus secret and a JWT library to create the JWT token. So if you see the JWT token, so this is the first part, and if I come here, so because there is a dot and the left side of the dot is the header part. If I come further here, so you can see this is the second dot. So this you can take what? This is the second part, which is basically the payload data, and the last part is the signature. So this is the signature part. So this signature part was created how? It was created using the header base 64 URL encoded, then payload base 64 URL encoded, and then you take the algorithm like the function. There is some libraries through which you can use and you can use the secret to basically create this signature. So if you tamper anything in the data, so if you tamper, let's say, anything in the payload, so what will happen? This signature which is present in the JWT token will change, and the public key will say that okay, the token that you are giving me is not signed with the correct signature key. So it will basically fail, it will give you an error. So in this way it becomes secure. Like if you do anything with the token data and if you don't have that secret key, then you can't create the signature which is understood by the public key. So this is the main thing which makes the JWT token secure. Also you can see that the JWT ecosystem is stateless. Like once you generate the JWT token, so the verification and everything happens at the another client level only. Like you don't need to call the server again, only you need to use the public key and basically validate the token signature and decode it and use it for your business purpose. So it is stateless. So what happens? There is a less latency, there is no state management thing, so it is very helpful. So I hope you understood the concept of JSON Web Token, and in later videos we will actually use like how you can generate the JSON Web Token and pass it to client to verify it. In the later videos you will see that how you can generate the JWT token by signing the header and the payload, and also you will use a public key to verify it and decode the token and get the contents out of it. So we'll be creating a user management system in Java using this JWT thing. So hope you like this video, hope you like my channel. Please share this video, and you can go at the bottom and support me using the thanks button. Thank you very much.